look at tonight. Early on, it's Tatum driving and kicking, ton of threes. Brown gets the ball. He's forcing the issue downhill. Second quarter, Brown gets no shots. And Tatum finally gets his first shot midway through the second while Brown's out with foul trouble, and they're disconnected for the rest of the game. I think that's where everything stemmed from. You don't see those two, and I'm stunned. We looked at the numbers last game, John, to see Tatum's passing to Brown 9 times a game because that looks good on paper. 8 last game in particular. I finally got the number.
But
that's
half of those are outlets, Bobby. They're not in half-court sets. It's a rebound and an outlet half the time.
It's not that's what I'm saying. It's surprising to see that because you don't see it in action. Like, we know there's just a disconnectedness there. They're not screening for each other like we've seen them try to do in the past to get in the same sequence as each other. And Jalen, I don't know if you played the cut, said, I thought we were running the same thing over and over again tonight. And I felt that way too. Just some kind of pick and roll with Al, or pick and pop with Al, or a smart roll, or Joe looks a little lost in this game.
Joe has a thing that he thinks, he's like, here's what we do well, so let's just keep doing it until the results change. That's usually his approach, and you become predictable. As we said, the type of defense they were playing, there was that point in the third quarter, Bobby, where they ran the same exact pick and roll with Harden, and the Celtics forced him to the sideline, and he would just turn around and send it right back to Embiid, who's just standing there for a free throw jumper. Oh, they ran like 5-6 times in a row. Celtics never adjusted their coverages there. There's just certain things that they just don't do in game.
Their defense stunk tonight. And I've said this all year, John. I don't know where you want to go with that because they lost their defensive identity this year, and it's coming out at the worst spot, the passiveness on that end. You go back and look at last game, all the passive switches they gave up, all the mismatches they're allowing.
It's fine, but if they're I'll still go back to it. The defense wasn't great, but to me it was the offensive dysfunction that killed them. If they score 120, they win. This is just. I mean, if they're hitting their threes, the bad offense leads to bad defense. It always kills them that way. It really does. I'm going to look at this game and say the defense wasn't great at all, but offensively they looked like they'd never played together ever in their lives. Like, it just was so bad.
Last year you can lean on that defense to win on a bad shooting night, and the record's not terrible when they don't shoot well this year, but it's bad enough, and there's enough bad shooting nights in general for it to throw them in the inconsistency. And that's what we said about this team, John. At 21-5, you're shooting 40% from 3. They look like the Warriors. We ask, is this team the Warriors? And the rest of the way, they've just been an up-and-down team that kind of leans into shooting, defends sometimes. As Joe Sway said a few minutes ago, looks unbelievable on their best nights. On their worst nights, don't really seem to have answers. But the biggest thing tonight, they just didn't have answers. Where were the adjustments on either end? They didn't have answers for anything.
You're wondering what kind of curveball Joe's going to throw here, because he has to. He's got to shake things up in a big way in Game 6. He has to throw something at Doc that he hasn't seen yet up until this point, Otherwise, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of a series.
There's no curve. It's Tatum. And I've said this so many games. Show up.
All right, well, if he has a signature performance, that puts you in good position.
Forget signature. Just be there. Just be present to start the game.
How many times has he done this now?
The rest of the team can't wait. The rest of the team can't wait for you. They can't. They've gotten down early twice and couldn't. One time they did come back and fell short, and the other time they couldn't. You can't do that. Show up, man. It's so frustrating.
Especially when we're talking MVP and first team and all this stuff.
Best player on the floor.
You got to try something different is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm going double big. Try it. Oh. You haven't tried it enough in this series. Bring back that defensive identity, pile up stops, put a bunch of bodies in the paint that are going to make it tough for them to finish in there. Have Rob in that health position on Embiid. They've minimized Rob in this series. And you can say
you can't have a Smart and Rob lineup right now.
You'll get offensive rebounds.
With the way Tatum is shooting threes at this point, that lineup, what are you going to do? I mean, it's just going to be.
You're going to get stopped.
You know how Joe is, though. He wants those extra possessions. He wants those second chance opportunities.
I can't stand that anymore.
I can see him going that route. I can see him doing that double big. I mean, but either way, man, these guys got to attack and beat. I mean,
you have to generate. Like Joe Sway said, you got to generate extra possessions somehow.
I don't think I play Rob anymore. I don't.
But that's the way Missoula
when-
thinks too.
When Embiid is out, I go small and I spread it and I try to shoot like crazy.
You're
I
about
don't
to shoot again? You're gonna live and die by the three
Yes,
again?
I do not bring. I am done. I'm done with
think
Rob
you
for
have
this
to.
series.
Joe would do some shit like that too.
I
go
think
Grant,
Rob's done with Rob.
I
I
go
mean, sorry.
Grant and Hauser
Joe's
when
done with
Embiid's out of the game. I'm not
Me and
kidding.
Rob is done with Rob.
Shoot. Done. I'm done with it.
I think Rob's helped you when in that drop off the bench. And,
Ugh.
yeah, he's not able to get out on Embiid and all that, but
get the
On
shooters
defense.
some minutes. Get
John, they're
shooters
playing
Rob
minutes.
has done
How many-
nothing.
how many? I've been screaming this from the rooftop all series. How many minutes did Tucker play tonight? 33. You have 33 minutes where Rob could be on the floor just ignoring him. If TJ Tucker wants to shoot 15 threes and hit
TJ.
10,
You know who?
Put some
You know who
respect
else
on
gets
me.
ignored? You know who else gets ignored in that scenario, Bobby?
Rob, but
Rob.
again, you need to pile up some stops right now, and that's a great way to pack the paint, throw some doubles, get some turnovers. You only forced 9 turnovers in this one, and I think that's been one of their biggest problems all year.
Bobby, doesn't that tell you where they're at with Rob? That even with PJ Tucker playing that many minutes, he's just rotting on the bench. After a full year of everybody telling us they're saving Rob for the playoffs, doesn't that tell you
Grant played
Somebody-
where
80
they feel
yeah,
Rob
I-
is at?
I get what you're saying to some degree, but I also think Joe wants to play small, wants to have the versatile offensive lineup out there. And even tonight, you heard him talking about how the offense is dictating how they're defending. They need to take the right shots and do different things on offense to set their defense up. They got to bring the attack on defense next game and create these transition opportunities for themselves. Going bigger gets you extra opportunities on the offensive end.
I said I was going to go 90 minutes crapping on Tatum, and we're almost at the 90-minute mark, so I'll do it.
Nice.
No, listen, I don't care. I don't think it has to be the Tatum goes off game. I don't think it has to be the Tatum anything game. If you're not going to score, don't waste everybody else's time dribbling around the basketball and taking bad shots and forcing the issue. Just play within the flow of the offense, and when it comes to you, it comes to you, okay? I don't want the Tatum game. I don't want
It could be one of those 10 assist games. You know,
I
something
don't
like that.
want the Tatum game. I don't think this team needs the Tatum game. I don't think fans should want it. Just play friggin' basketball.
I'm going Sixers and 7.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Bobby.
3
What you
Garden losses. Look at Sherrod's face.
Wow.
Look at the Sherrod face.
Bobby, I like it.
Wow.
You know what, Bobby?
I do believe there is a faction of Celtics fans out there that want to be put out of their misery. It is stressful. This is a tough team to root for. It has been for a long time. So